Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Reshma Mukherjee. As you all know, today we are going to start a fresh topic, which is as you can see from here, we are going to start the homecoming, and it will be a complete explanation on the chapter, not part by part. We are going to do an overall explanation of it. It is a big chapter, I know, but we will get an idea, and we can only get that idea once it comes as a whole, right? So we are going to do that. Those of you who haven't yet checked my website slothskill.com, don't forget to check it, because it has a lot of content, lot of practice material where you can check how far you are ready for the exam, right? So this is for, of course, year 2023-24, which means for class 9, and we are doing meanings, explanation in detail, right? So let's continue, come to the first screen or the page, and also relate to these pictures, because these are quite relevant, that will help you in understanding. So homecoming we are going to do, and it is in this book that you have, the treasure chest, in page number 94, right? So let's come to that page and let's start with our topic. Before that, I would also like to tell you that you can of course share your question papers with me that has been given to you by your school as a test paper. We can discuss them. If you haven't got the answers of those, if you want to get their answers, you can share the PDF to the Gmail account slothskill.contact@gmail.com. You can share it to my email ID, to the official email ID, and from there we will be able to get it and discuss it. Right, in the next class you will see one discussion of such paper of another student who has shared it with me, and we are doing student series, so you can of course send that to me. One more thing that I want to request you, that do not ask for the question papers. Yes, I told you, I am extremely sorry that I promised that I will give you those question papers, the paid ones, but I am unable to do them because of some time crunch. I have my batches also, and it becomes difficult to prepare question papers for all the batches, and then these also. So what I am suggesting you is, you check the website. I am giving free content over there, free materials, free test papers. You can practice from there as of now. Later on, maybe possibly in the next year, I will launch a grammar book and also a question paper series. Okay, so you will be able to follow that, because this is a fresh book now. This is a fresh book, treasure chest. So you will be able to follow that in the next year, right? So that's it. Let's begin. And WhatsApp also, I have my channel launched over there. You can join me, and that's it. Let's start. So see, the homecoming by Rabindranath Tagore, we all have this idea that he was a playwright, he was a composer, he was a writer, he was a social reformer, right? He worked for women, painter also, and most importantly, for the English version of Gitanjali, he has won the Nobel Prize, right? So this story, the homecoming, is actually talking about a young boy, okay? A young boy, meaning he, to be more particular, he is a teenager, or between the age of 11 to 19, is in this age. You will get to know his correct age, which is 14 years only. He was just 14 years, and so he is completely, very young, and he stays in a village, and he is unaware of the troubles of this world, the worries of this world. He lives in a village. He has his pranks to play. As you know, the village boys, they keep on playing pranks, the mischiefs. Okay, they are highly mischievous, and they have a gang, and with these the gang members, as the first line tells you, that he is a ringleader. This boy, as you can see on the screen, he is a teenage, or around 14 years of age, and he is extremely to the height of the naughtiness, the extremely kind of a ringleader, or the leader of all, right? So among the boys, and he lives in that village, and what was their mischief? One such example is given right in the first page. We see that you even see in this picture that there is a log of wood that is generally used on those ships, so that it serves as the mast from where the sails, that means, if you have seen Pirates of Caribbean, you must have seen, right? They have sails, that means this cloth like structures that helps in the movement of the ship, and that is attached to these logs. Okay, these logs, it is tied to those. So that log was there beside the as you can see over here, the mud flat of the river. See, it is very muddy now. The picture is telling you it is very muddy, and so their plan was, he was a ringleader, and all along with his other members, his plan was to roll it over and take it somewhere. Just a naughty plan, that's it. So, if you are interested in looking into the book for class 9, as we are discussing the class 9 topic, complete course book you have ICSE English 1 and 2, you will have both of them. This is Oswald Publishers book, and most importantly I will show you what all is available over here. You have, as you can see, internal assessment also for 20 marks. You will get an idea of this, the pattern of questions, the listening skills, the speaking skills, that listening skills, number of words, amount of marks that you have allotted to these. And from here, as you can see, drama act 1 and act 2 you have from Julius Caesar. You have the prose, these 5 topics, you have poetry, these 5 topics, and you will get a basic idea of them. Along with that, not just the end of it, you have the language portion also in one book itself. You have composition, letter writing, notice, email, you have comprehension and grammar also, right. So, in one book you will get a basic idea of what all you are going to get in your first step to this board exam, right. So, I hope this book will be helpful. I will attach the link in the description box. You can of course purchase it if you think it will be useful for you, right. Of course it has no logic, as we can see, just for fun. So, next point, what happens, next paragraph, if we see, his brother, younger brother, whose name is Makhan. Makhan comes in, and we know that like brothers and sisters, and between brothers there is always a tussle, they keep on quarreling, they keep on fighting. So, Makhan is very, naughty, not naughty, I will say bothersome to this elder brother Phatik, and he has come here to disturb him in his games, in his all these along in front of his playmates. So, he comes and sits over this log, as you can see, so that it is a botheration to this group, so that they cannot play. Their plan was to roll it. So, if imagine this is a log and you want to roll it, if somebody is sitting on the log, how will you roll it, right. So, he had come here to bother his elder brother. Okay. So, as you can see over here, they wanted to roll it, but the elder brother is sitting on top, the younger brother Makhan is sitting on top of the log. So, they cannot move it. They tried to push it, but they did not. Initially they stopped. They asked for Makhan to move away from there so that they could continue their game, but he did not move. Like a philosopher, he was constantly looking at somewhere else and ignoring them totally, to show that I am not interested in whatever you are saying, I am not going to move. This is my place to contemplate, to be a philosopher, right. So, he sat over there and he did not move. So, finally Phatik found it very annoying, because he is a ringleader, na, his decision is a decision. Now, he cannot lose in front of his younger brother. कैसे हार जाए उसके सामने. इसीलिए what he did was, he first told him कि move, okay, just move away from here, I will thrash you, I will hit you. But he did not listen. So, naturally Phatik had to do something, otherwise he would have a face loss in front of his playmates, right. So, what did he do was, he did 1, 2 and 3. He first decided along with his playmates and said 1, 2 and 3, and they just hurled it, pushed the log. But on the log who was sitting? Makhan was sitting on it, but as they pushed it, as you can see from this picture, as they pushed it from the sides, Makhan rolled over and fell. Okay. Next, all the other boys, now they are very excited because this is a fun. What has happened, this younger brother, he has completely fallen in the mud, this muddy thing, and all his dress and everything is filled with mud. Okay, so he is extremely annoyed, he screams, he thrashes his elder brother like anything, scratches him like anything, and then runs out back to his own house to complain it to his mother about his elder brother's naughtiness. Okay. So, now that he has gone to complain it to mother, Phatik is worried, because mother always scolds him, right. Always elder brother ko sab डांट मिलता है ना, nobody thinks about the younger one who is doing mischief. Every nuisance is created by the elder ones only, it seems. So, he is kind of worried कि he will go back home, his mother will thrash him, scold him and all that. So, he just sits on this barge. Okay, there is an upturned barge, as you can see over here, and he looks over there just thinking that again I will go back home and I will be thrashed. So, he waits over there. Soon a man comes in and asks him that boy कि Chakravartis lived, where कोई मतलब somebody came on that boat and asked this boy कि do you know where Chakrabartis live? Now if you move to the first part of the story, you will see he himself is a Chakrabarti, right? Phatik Chakrabarti. So he is not worried about all that. He directly says over there somewhere. So he says in such a way over there that nobody can understand कि कहाँ, which is that over there, which side should I go? He cannot understand. So he asks again, and this boy becomes very annoyed because he is already annoyed. I have to get scoldings when I get back home, so I am worried about my own stuff, don't bother me. He says go and find out, just go. Okay. So a servant comes in immediately. The servant has actually come from his own home, right, to take back Phatik so that his mother can scold him for whatever he has done to his younger brother. Very annoyed, he goes back home and his mother scolds him, and Makhan completely lies that his brother had beaten him. Actually he hasn't beaten him, right? The main problem was created by whom? By Makhan only. He was causing a problem by sitting on that log. He caused the problem first. That is why Phatik had to do it. So Phatik kept on saying ki, no, I did not hit him, I did not hit him, but mother did not believe, and then he deliberately hit his younger brother to show कि when my mother does not believe me at all, ठीक है फिर मार ही लेते हैं थोड़ा, let me hit him, then get the scolding. Okay, without hitting also I'll get the same scolding, right? So he hits him, and mother is very annoyed with him, and they are in a mess. As you can see from the next picture, they start fighting and mother is completely disgusted by the behavior of these two. Okay, while they are in this mess, when they are talking about all this fighting and all that, suddenly who comes in? As you can see from this picture, this person comes in. Who is this person? This person is actually the brother Bishambar. Whose brother? This mother's brother. Okay, now this mother, as you can see from her dress, she is a widow. She has two boys and both of them are always fighting. The elder one is even more naughty, and this brother has finally come. He had gone to Bombay for work and he did not know that his sister's husband was dead. Okay, so finally he comes to know and he wants to help. So in the process of helping, he says that okay, you are worried about Phatik, so I will take Phatik to now he lives in Calcutta. Okay, he has come back from Bombay, and we will write Calcutta only because those days it was Calcutta, not before, not after independence, before independence, right? So it was known as Calcutta, and I will take him back to Calcutta and he will grow with my own kids. His uncle says, चलो मेरे साथ चलो वहाँ पे, you will be there with my family, I will take care of you. He wanted to help his sister so that his sister is not bothered about two young boys. Okay, so I will take one and I will educate him and give him all that care he requires, right? So the Phatik is very excited because everybody, all the village boys has this intention ना कि चलो कहीं और चलते हैं, which is somewhat new, which is a city life. There is so many things in the city life, so I will enjoy over there. So he is excited to go, and he goes. He is extremely excited, as you can see. Oh yes, uncle, I want to go. And he also says that all my good things, Makhan, you take it. I just want to go from here. He is very excited and he goes. Finally, next page, when they reach Calcutta, Phatik made the acquaintance of his aunt for the first time. So now he comes across his aunt. Okay, this aunt who will not like him much, right? Because we have to understand this situation. He has already landed up over here, which is the Calcutta house, and you can see the house. All around this house there are only buildings, but remember the place from where he has come. He has come from the village. The village has so many things to offer. There is a river, there are trees, there are birds, there are playmates. Here nobody is there, right? He has to just stay in this house, and then again his aunt, that means his uncle's wife, aunt, is extremely annoyed with him because she already has 3 children, okay, and she has to take care of them. And this additional head, which is also a teenage boy who creates a lot of nuisance, he has to take care of him also, educate him also, feed him also. And that also he does not like. There is a difference between village life and city life. The standards are not same, their cultural context is not same, their behavior is not quite city like. So they don't like it, they find it obnoxious, very nonsensical. So she hates him, totally hates him, because he is an additional burden, also because he does not have those city standards. He cannot maintain those city standards because he has come from the village, okay, in dhoti and all that. He cannot wear pants. Okay. So now at the age of 14, suddenly this paragraph is very important, page number 98, the big one, in this world of human affairs. This is the time when he realizes that I am a teenage boy, age of 14, and I am at a stage where neither am I a child nor am I a grown up. Now this stage you will understand it best because you are also of the similar age, right, age group. So you will understand it better. Try to understand it very carefully. Okay, this is the time when you can neither relate to children, okay, always so sweet, so cute, ऐसे करते हैं, तो we don't like it because we are neither in that group, nor can we behave like children, being very sweet and beautiful, not like that. And we are neither in the adult group because at this stage we often fall in love, we have this, you know, affection for somebody, infatuation for somebody. But if you try to express your feelings for that person, or if you want to express it, share it with your parents, the parent will say, what nonsensical thought, how come you are behaving like a grown up, you are just a child. So neither you are accepted in the child's group, neither nor you are accepted as a grown up. So you are somewhere in between, and people can't accept you literally, and you yourself can't accept your body because, you know, this is the stage when your body starts growing rapidly. You have, your height grows, okay, different sexual organs develop, sexual interest develop. You start thinking that why am I behaving like this, why am I you know, feeling this kind of a thing for the opposite gender and all that. We of course feel that. That's why recent movie Oh My God 2 is a very good movie to watch, because we understand the problems that this age group feels. They want extreme amount of love. That is why sometimes you will see that this age group often gives red flowers, give roses to their teacher, say, or often writes I love you note to the teacher. Why? Because he or she wants care, wants attention. If that teacher gives him attention which he is not getting at home or anywhere else, he feels that possibly he has a liking for that person, and that is true love sort of a thing. Okay, so that is all because he, you know, he demands, he wishes for that, but he does not get that. So here also same thing happens. This boy, and he is away from his mother. So who will love you so much like your mother, right? So uncle stays away from home, busy in business, and the mother and the aunt is not worried about him. He is worried about his own kids. Okay, so at this very age, he's a heart of hearts of a young lad, most craves for recognition, for love, and he does not get it. So, you know, he is demanding, he wants to help his aunt in whichever way possible, but fails to do that action, and then gets scolding from his aunt, and that, you know, he feels very much embarrassed. Okay, he cannot express that he wanted to help, lekin hua nahi, kuch garbar ho gaya, and he is so very embarrassed that he becomes, ultimately whatever he does is incorrect according to the aunt, and he becomes completely no words. Okay, he stops speaking. He feels embarrassed about his own presence in the house. He feels embarrassed about going to a school where he cannot understand anything, because, you know, city education is different from village education. So he cannot understand anything. Why is he here? So he feels just like a fish out of water. Okay, condition. He has been taken out from his own place. He is somewhere where he does not belong. Right? Neither he belongs to this house, as you can see, this house in Calcutta, nor does he find himself suited anywhere else. Right. Next picture, we will move on to that. I just showed you a bit of it. So often what happened, he for a boy of 14, his own home is his only paradise. He wants to get back there, but he cannot. Okay, because he is present in a school, and in that school he cannot you know, he cannot understand anything. He often gets beaten by his teachers. He cannot understand. Suddenly if you bring a child and put him to class 7, 8 standard in a school, or 6, 7, whatever might be the standard, पहले वाला पूरा education तो he has taken from a school, from village school. He cannot understand anything over here, the way of education, the way whatever the syllabus was taught before, he knows nothing. So he is completely, you can use, even quote this is also a line from another Rabindranath Tagore's work, The Postmaster, fish out of water. He feels like that. So often when he is in school and he cannot play with any other boy in the school, he cannot find any friend for himself. he sees somebody flying kites, which he used to do when he was in the village. He relates to that life in the village and feels very lonely. He feels that he is nowhere. He wants to go back home, but he cannot, right? So he finds this cramped atmosphere, okay, in the city where there is only homes, no fresh air, nothing, no trees, no river, no playmates, right? He feels out of place. Now, before we move into this picture, there is a little bit of a thing that happens. In the meantime, he loses his book. He lost his school books, and because he lost his school books, he could not tell it to the teacher, could not answer the teacher, could not do the homework. The teacher is also scolding him like anything. Now, at one point of time, his own cousins, okay, that means Bishambar's own sons, they completely disown this boy. They also do not talk to him because they find it, you know, humiliating to have a brother like this. Okay, so they also forget him, and he cannot cannot tell his aunt that I have lost my book, I want another set of book, because he knows that his aunt will even scold him, embarrass him for this. Okay, so he cannot say it. Later on, when he finally can't accept any more scolding in the school, he goes and tells it to aunt, and aunt scolds him like anything. Okay, so what he does is Bishambar now, sorry, not Bishambar. So he keeps on asking his uncle that, uncle, when can I go home? And uncle says, don't worry, possibly you are missing your parents, but your mother and your brother, but as soon as your holiday starts, we will go back home. Anybody does that, right? कि जब छुट्टी आ जाएंगे, you will go back home, right? So he keeps on asking that, Bishambar keeps on answering that. And when he comes and tells his aunt that he has lost his book, his aunt says, you great clumsy country lout, how can I afford with all my family to buy you new books 5 times a month? Of course, she did not buy him books 5 times a month, but she says it, hyperbole, exaggeration, right? We know this. Just to scold him, because he hates this boy. If you hate somebody, you will keep on, you know, the appearance of that person will be a botheration for you. So she scolds him like anything. So that night, while coming back from school, Phatik had a bad headache with a fit of shivering. She was shivering, possibly because of all that stress. He felt he was going to have an attack of malarial fever. His one great fear was that if he goes and says, or if his aunt comes to know that he has fever now, he will be scolded even more. So what he does is, he runs away from his house. He does not return. Okay. So we will move to the next image now, this one. Okay. So at the end of the day, when he did not return home, the police was informed, the police were informed, police is always plural. So police were informed, and they searched for him, and they found him and brought Phatik. Okay, found him from somewhere. It was raining heavily and everywhere was flooded. So we can understand that first he had fever, malarial fever. Second, he was all soaked in rain throughout the night. And Bishambar finally could find him with the help of the police and brought him in his arms. He was not in his senses. Okay, eyes flushed red with fever, face and eyes were completely red with fever, and Bishambar carried him in his arms and took him into the inner apartments. The wife is still screaming, what a heap of trouble this boy has given us. Hadn't you better send him home? So just send this brat home. I don't want to keep him here, such a nuisance. Okay. So Phatik heard her words and kept on sobbing, crying, even in that half unconscious state. He is saying, uncle, I was just going home, but they dragged me back again. Can you understand? He had just set out to go back to your mother. Just like you will have goosebumps when you read it, when you feel it. Later on, maybe you will go to different colleges, you will go to you will get a job, and you have to stay out from your own home, and you will feel that when you are sick, you want that, you want the love and care of your mother. Mothers scold always. Okay, even now I get scolded by my mother for different things, but still we know that care we will get only when we get back to your mother. Even now when I am sick, I feel that if I was close to my mother, she would have done this, she would have done that, and I would have been completely at peace. But at present I am not with my mother, so I have to keep on, I have to bother about myself, I have to take care of my own self, and then there is a lot of struggle. So we realize that when she is not there. So this boy had set out to go back to his mother because Bishambar is not taking him to his mother. But in the meantime, he falls sick and the police somehow brings him home. So he is still saying that I was going home only, why did you bring me back? So Bishambar wiped the tears from his own eyes. He understands that this boy is missing his family terribly. Uncle, have the holidays come yet? May I go home? You can quote these lines. His uncle had said that when the holidays come, you can go back home. So he is still asking, is it still holiday? Can I go back now? Because I am just waiting for that one holiday, to that bell to ring, so that I can go back and be with my mother. I can't stay over here. It's like, it's suffocating, it's exhaustive, right? So you have to use these words that I am using for your answer, right? So Bishambar knew his thoughts, and bending down his head, so he looks around. Once when he was conscious for a point, he was not conscious, he was in a half conscious state, and when he could open his eyes, he searches everywhere to see whether that favorite person has come or not. See, before the story, initial part of the story, we see how he wanted to run away from his own home. Okay, you will understand that now. You will not be able to understand possibly now, because you are there in the care of your parent. When you go out and realize they are not there to help you, you have this, this stress, this depression, that when I can go back. Okay. So, mother, don't beat me like that. Mother, I am telling the truth. He is not in a conscious state, na? So he feels that he is there and his mother is beating him, and he hasn't done something wrong. He feels the pain, not the pain of that hitting, that his mother used to beat him every day for being naughty, but because he yearns for that, he wants that now, he wants to be there with his mother. So Phatik began to cry out, by the mar 3 fathoms, by the mar 4 fathoms, by the mar. This line is important because this is actually what, when we set out sailing, okay, when we start the ship, we have to calculate how much we have to turn and move. Okay, so it's just like this was actually a game. Okay, when he was there on that river bank, he used to hear the sailors, launches and steamers used to move there, na? So he used to hear them speaking like that while setting out for sail. He had heard that. He is saying this, why? This has a relevance, symbolic relevance, because generally एक घाट से दूसरे घाट में जाने का जो ये सफ़र है, from one bank to the other bank, when you move from one bank to the other bank, it is also symbolic of moving from life to death. So this river is kind of a beach ka rasta. You cross that and you are close to your God, you are dead. Okay, so he is on that threshold, he is ready, he is almost on the verge of dying, and he is calculating, he is doing that, okay, because he knows that he is not going to live, and that also in a subconscious state, unconscious state, he is saying that, just a blabber. Later in the day, Phatik's mother somehow managed to come in. Bishambar had informed the lady, so she manages to come in, and like a whirlwind, and began to toss from side to side and moan and cry in a loud voice. She is screaming. She loved the boy, of course, right? She is a mother. She had sent him because he was naughty, but of course she loved him. So she has come out over here and she is like mad. Why did I allow my child to come here? He has suffered so much, he is dying. Bishambar tried to calm her agitation, but she flung herself and kept on crying, Phatik, my darling, my darling. So he said, huh? So he cannot open his eyes, na? So he's like in a trance. He could half opened his eyes and say, he cannot understand anything. He cannot even understand that his long searched for mother has finally come. The mother cried again, Phatik, my darling, my darling. Phatik very slowly turned his head, and without seeing anybody, he turned his head, but he cannot see anybody any longer, because his life is slowly moving out from his body. So he is ready to set sail from this bank to that bank. He is almost on the verge of death. So he cannot see anybody. He just somehow manages and opens his eyes to say, Mother, the holidays have come. So finally I can see my mother. That means finally my holiday has come. This is like a jail, and I am finally freed from the jail, and I am here on your lap. This is my holiday. Understood? This is the thing that I love so much. It's like I have the, I read this in Bengali also. So because I am from Bengal, so I have read this story, and this is, even when it is translated, it has this fever, this flavor, this tone of missing your parents so much and finally accepting it as the best place. Initially we don't realize it, but sooner or later we do understand that these are the people who love us the most, right? So possibly the way I felt while reading the story, you would also find it equally fascinating story. The pattern in which he has written it, it is extremely good. That is why Tagore is a Tagore, right? There is not many people like Tagore. So I hope you will like it, and do write to me if you have understood the flavor, if you have liked it. And so as you can see how he suffered and how he waited for that, that open window, that freedom, that holiday. That's why this is the last slide for you all today. Okay, how he waited to be freed. It was like a jail. That house, Vishambar's house in Calcutta, was like a jail. He wanted to escape, but he could not. Okay, and finally when his mother came, he had got his freedom, but not from Calcutta to go to the village, not from school, but actually from life itself. Okay, that is all. See you in my next class, and don't forget to hit the like button if you have liked it. Share your feelings, emotions in the comment section. I would love to read them in my next class. And that's all. Next class we will also discuss questions and answers from here, and difficult words, if you don't understand while reading the story, write to me. I will try to answer in the comment section. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye bye.